Christine and Tim.
Christine Soufran Nitim.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
But this world, as big as it is, one person can be the tipping scale to really create a domino effect that no one ever seen coming. I would like to remind people, there's going to be a lot of people that's going to judge you and tell you you're too naive.
Well, hello, everyone. So really excited to be back for another webinar Wednesday session. And as you know, these are sessions where I come on live for 20 and 30 minutes to share any type of wisdom or insight that I see that my audience or my communities is asking about regarding behind the scenes of what I do and how I do it. And this is a conversation like no other, how to turn LinkedIn into a stage so you could grow your brand and get paid to speak. And I think this is a big one because when it comes to being an entrepreneur who gets, to travel the world on a regular basis and speak at major conferences, I'm at a space in my tenure in my career where I get to choose the stages I want to go to. I remember in the beginning, I took on almost every opportunity that came with me, even if it meant traveling different. So I've been to a lot of countries, I've been to a lot of places, and I'm on the road a lot. When it comes to both my business and my speaking engagements. But now, especially being a mother of four and then having a growing family and having multiple businesses at my disposal, I'm more discerning with opportunities, who's the audience, what's the ROI, what's the opportunity, is it going to make an impact, is it going to address the communities that I want to serve? So I'm able to ask more questions as to what serves what I currently value right now in my 10-year career. But one of the biggest things that I've seen with people is that people get really stuck with figuring out how to leverage social media to create visibility for themselves to even get an invite. So I'm at the point where I'm making decisions on invites, but to just even get the visibility for an invitation is really difficult for people. So today is all about how to create that visibility. And by far the best platform to do that is not, for me, I would say it's not Instagram, it's not Facebook, maybe YouTube, but not so much. LinkedIn is probably the best, especially when it comes to the institutional client ecosystem that's at your disposal. I think LinkedIn is the best platform to convert an audience of decision makers into betting on you to hit their stage and give value. So first and foremost, to take a step back, I want to introduce myself real quick. My name is Christine Tim. I'm a 3-time CEO, global keynote speaker, and you really are just an amazing person who just loves to give thought, leadership, and wisdom on not only my journey, but the lessons I've learned throughout. And I'm here to serve you and share that thought, leadership, and wisdom to make sure that you don't have to do the same mistakes that I have. One thing I do want to show you real quick is my speaker reel, where somebody told me, do you need a full-fledged video or asset to be able to put yourself out there? And quite frankly, you don't need to have a crazy production, but you do need to have something that showcases, you on stage, you giving value, and you really giving thought leadership and traction. So I just want to share with you my reel so you could get a sense of what that looks like. So you could leverage video to hopefully make an introduction for you as well.
Christine and Tim.
Christine Sofran Nitin.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
You get the point, right? And so it's different clips of me speaking on different stages and different formats as a keynote, panelist, fireside chat, and the topics, and even the feedback in the media from previous speaking engagements in my work. And so this is where, when it comes to visibility, leveraging LinkedIn to share clips of you in action, you on stages. But we're going to take it a step back further and really think about how do you even package, right? Your thought leadership and your journey on LinkedIn in a way that's, first off, is digestible. It's not confusing, because some people ramble and don't know how to get to the point with what are the key value propositions in their profile or in their journey that makes them significant enough to get booked for a paid speaking engagement. But second, in a way that it's easy for them to pitch their profile to other people. Because one thing that people don't realize, usually when you're getting booked for an event or a program or a client, it's not just one person making the decision. Sometimes they have to pass it around to multiple stakeholders internally. And I've actually seen this happen because we actually do it ourselves as event organizers. And you'd be very amazed at like how one person can know you and can vouch for you, but if they don't have easy content or information about you to pitch it easily to someone else, you've already lost the opportunity. So there's many rooms where your name probably was mentioned, but because it wasn't easy for them to share content because maybe you didn't have all your stuff and your ducks in a row, they're not able to put your name out there properly. So these are things to think about when it comes to your brand and how you put yourself out there. Okay, just wanted to say that real quickly. So with that said, let's get started and have a conversation about how to leverage LinkedIn, right? So the first thing that I shared in my email blast about this webinar is that I want to share, how do you create a good LinkedIn profile that's magnetic, that positions you as a go-to speaker in your industry, especially when you think about how competitive the global market is. I always tell people, as much as you see a lot of speakers in the market, it's not enough for the demand of thought leadership that's needed for everyday programs, initiatives, and opportunities that are happening within a company, within an organization, within a campaign. I mean, there's always going to be a need. And quite frankly, the industry is actually exploding. It's not flatlining right now, right? Especially in the age of AI, where everything feels so automated, so fake, and so rigidly boring. People are actively looking for more thought leaders to break from the noise, to give insights and perspective that's inspiring and thought-provoking right now. And so literally, I want to take it out of your head that you think that, it's already too late or it's oversaturated. There's always a way to position yourself, right? So one of the best things that I always share with people, and I have a full workshop on this, comment workshop if you want access to the full 2-hour workshop where I help you optimize your LinkedIn in 72 hours or less to make sure that you're able to attract speaking engagements. I talk about, being discovered as a speaker by making sure that you're leveraging some of the top features on LinkedIn that a lot of people actually don't use properly. And even if they use them, they don't optimize it to the best of its potential. So 4 different features on LinkedIn besides the profile photo and the banner, because everyone always talks about optimizing your profile photo, your title, and your banner. Yes, yes, yes. Have a banner that screams your thought leadership so people know. Have a photo that smiles and intrigues and invites people to your profile. Have a title that states not just your title by trade, but your title by purpose. And what I mean by that is like who you serve, what you do, and why you do it. So it's like one sentence liner. You probably see that trend where a lot of people are converting their titles from being the CEO of XYZ organization to being that I help serve XYZ organization, right? So it's more people serving than self-serving. So the 4 features I want to articulate that you should really leverage on LinkedIn to get your site optimized is one, the featured section. A lot of people don't use it, but you could put your calendar or booking schedule or your signature talk that details your thought leadership in the feature section. A lot of times people put like maybe their highest moving post or a photo or a video or image of themselves instead, but they don't realize how they can actually use the feature section to actually convert any traffic to their page to do something like a call to action, a CTA. And one of the CTA could be a booking link source for a decision maker to get on a calendar with you and talk to you for like 15, 20 minutes to see if you're a right fit. And usually I actually have this on my LinkedIn. It's not just a calendar link, but it has all the topics that I speak on. So that way, if they see, I have 3 talks that I consistently do at different engagement, but one of those is my signature talk. So if someone's interested and want to speak more on this, they have a targeted conversation that they can have with me, so they don't have to feel like they're going back and forth, because people don't have time to figure this out. They want to know, like, by browsing through, are you the right person? So your feature section is such a powerful way to do this. And then I do also have a video of me doing a keynote as another feature section, so that way the proof is right there up front and center. That's the first one. The second thing that I leverage a lot is the articles. I actually publish my signature talk on LinkedIn, because LinkedIn has a really great SEO record. When you publish an article or newsletter on LinkedIn, that the life of that article stays so long. So if someone's typing or searching for something on Google and you have the right SEO niche phrases in your signature talk, by the way, I also embed the video recording in the article as well. That's a great way for people to like just forward that link and say, hey, we're Christine and having Christine come speak. Take a look at this article where she talks about that signature talk. Also, there's a video attached to it in the bottom where she's actually doing the talk live at an event that we've seen before, right? So stuff like that is really gold, right? Because it helps people to see you immediately and know what you talk about and see proof of you speaking on stage with that. The other one is more work. It's not a one-off thing where like the feature section, the article section, but more of your consistency. If you are really a thought leader in something, then you got to be given thought leadership. And this is something that really cracks me up when people don't want to do the work, right? Are you hosting webinars? Are you hosting lives? For me, every Wednesday I come on live like this and I do 15 and 20, 30-minute webinars on a topic that my audience want to hear from, right? Some of them are very similar topics around entrepreneurship, personal branding, and public speaking. And some of them might be one-off, like, you know, how I plan out my quarter, how I plan out my strategy, or family planning, farming, right? Those are the one-off ones. But if you look at the thread, someone's skimming through the live events that I am hosting personally, I will say if you can't find a stage, you got to create your own stage. And you always got to create a stage for yourself on a consistent basis. So 4 times a month, I'm creating visibility for myself on my brand, where even if someone don't see it live that same day, they could go back on my profile, see the thought leadership, see my style, see how I talk, see how I express myself, see the confidence in my delivery to be able to make a decision on whether they want to work with me on that. So events are a great way to create your own stage to create visibility. And the last but not least, oh my God, the about section. I can't tell you how many about sections I want to rip to shreds when I go on LinkedIn. I'm just like, my God, like this person, who told them to do this, right? Your about section is such a powerful space to not only give an introduction to you, but also give people a CTA. I can't stress how many times I don't even see people put their emails on their about section. I have my email easily accessible on my about section. So that way, if someone feels like, yep, I want to reach out, they're able to do that, right? So share, and you can even say how to work with me, public speaking, right? People are getting out lazy. It's very hard for people to make decisions without having a call to action. So if you tell them, this is how you can work with me, and one of it is public speaking, they know that you're open to conversation, and then they'll reach out. Okay. So with that said, that's how you leverage LinkedIn. Besides the tired, old, boring, generic advice that people say, which is the 3 things, which is your banner, your profile photo, your title. These are features on LinkedIn that I'm telling you increases and skyrockets your visibility on LinkedIn like crazy. And it's one of those things where it keeps you top of mind by leveraging these sections properly. Okay. Now let's talk about your content strategy. Content strategy that builds visibility and authority, even if you hate posting, because I know for myself, as someone with multiple businesses and multiple kids, multiple obligations, I'm not trying to be on social media 24/7. No, you, right? I think that it's another conversation for later, but I think we need to have a more balanced, more healthy approach to leveraging LinkedIn. So this is not really so much a daily strategy, but a more of a call to action strategy. So do post at least 3 to 5 times a week, right? An image, article, offer about the work that you do. I batch content, so it's not hard for me to do that. But for a lot of people, they think they need to post every hour a day. LinkedIn is actually, if you post more than once, the second post won't even get that much engagement. LinkedIn is not like other social media platform where you could post multiple times and all the posts get traction. It's usually that one per day type of thing, or a one, post that will get the most traction several times a week. So you don't even have to go crazy with it. Okay. The second thing is work your way backwards from a live conversion event. So I have live events where beyond the webinar, I have a multi-day training where I'm gathering my community around teaching them something and engaging them with real thought leadership that can really move the needle for them. That's thought leadership in a big window of time to get a group of people to know the work that I do and be able to work with me on a deeper level. Okay. Of course, I have my weekly and monthly live events, but my content, if you hear me clearly, is not centered around just posting a generic written form post or a photo or image or a video on social media, but really creating live experiences in the form of webinars, trainings, boot camps to showcase that I can command a virtual stage and have conversations that really serve my audience well to get them from point A to point B in a fluid fashion. Okay, so with that said, now if you're going to start creating content like this is the biggest thing that I always get from people. People always say, Christine, I'm creating the content, I optimize my profile, but I'm still getting crickets. Like no one's responding to my profile. So I'm like, okay, when's the last time you freshen up your LinkedIn network? And I was like, what do you mean my LinkedIn network? I'm like, when you first open your LinkedIn account, most likely it's probably the people that you knew from high school or college or your workplace. That's probably not your target audience for speaking at events. Do you have event organizers as friends on your LinkedIn account? And that's when it blows people's minds, because especially when I go over this in the Speaker Brand Launch Academy, I share with people like, look, your LinkedIn is your network. And if your network does not have the people that you want to work with in it, they're not going to see it. I know that's common sense, but it happens so much. So I share with people how to identify and connect with event organizers and decision makers on LinkedIn, and having a strategy to add 10 new people on a daily basis, socialize with at least 10 people 3 times a week, right? Engage with their content, see what they're working on, comment with at least 10 different event organizers, decision makers to make sure that you are seeing the work that I do, but you're engaging with their work and giving them feedback, right? So that way you guys can build rapport and growing your audience in a way where you're not only building rapport because it's a networking platform. So you should be networking, add 10, socialize with 10, and comment on 10. But the algorithm is seeing a pattern as well. So now your visibility skyrockets with the right people. So it's not just your high school friend or your college friends, your workplace friends seeing what you're doing, but the people that you're proactively adding to your network, engaging with your network because you have a strategy to really work and collaborate with them specifically to get people on stage. And this is the golden secret that a lot of people always miss, where they're creating content, they create an optimized profile, but for the wrong audience. This is where we get into audience strategy, where you are creating a network that you want to work with. Okay. So very, very, very important. Now, once you do that, this is another big one. So how I leverage LinkedIn, once I've optimized my profile, I've created a space where I'm creating thought leadership on a consistent basis to reinforce my expertise, my experiences, and I've figured out how to really grow the network in a way that has the right target people that I want to work with, that will be the decision makers that will pay me to come speak at the events or at the initiatives or programs. Now it's like, how do I reach out to them, right? How do I pitch myself without sounding spammy or salesy? And it's not, hey, do you book speakers? Because that's just annoying, right? And I always tell people it's not just about giving you a template. A lot of people say like, oh, can you just give me a template and just blast it out? Because the world has changed. People are tired of generic messages, and people can smell when you just blast communicating to everyone with the same message. I usually say, look, if you're reaching out to anyone, it's 3 basic things that needs to be covered. 1, why specifically are you talking to them? It's because there's a alma mater connection. It's because the topic that they're looking for, you are a significant person in that. Like, give them some personalized reason why you're reaching out to them specifically. Second, give them a reason to follow up and do a part 2 to that outreach. A lot of times people put their whole life story speaker reel all in one email, you're selling before you need to sell. Give them a reason to chat with you at another time, right? So that way you can present all that information. And third, showcase that you really are here for the long term and not hustling for a quick opportunity. I can't stress this enough. I've seen so many speakers, and we get so many people come in our inbox for our events to speak at our events. They sound desperate, right? There are people that I'm booking right now this year that I've been talking to since 2017, 2016, 2015, right? If you know you're going to be a thought leader in this space because you are expert and you are experienced and you know you're the baddest person in the block, you should be around to be able to engage. So I'm not talking about like take years to close a client. No, what I'm saying is your energy should exude the confidence in your tenure where even if you're not able to close those people immediately, that you can still engage them and have new pipeline of people coming into your world that you're closing on a regular basis. And those who need more time, let them take their time because you're able to engage with them at a later time. Okay, so really, really important. So stop saying if they're looking for speakers, like really think about what issues are they facing with their employees, with their stakeholdership, and give them solutions that they probably didn't think of with your signature talk or your message. Okay, so with that said, ultimately, when I think about LinkedIn, like how to optimize and leverage LinkedIn to turn into a stage, I'm always thinking about first and foremost that, you know, LinkedIn is probably the best virtual stage opportunity that you'll ever get. Like I know the algorithm with every social media platform, after some time it changes. And right now, LinkedIn, this is actually a really great time to leverage LinkedIn because LinkedIn hasn't changed yet, right? So if this is something that you're hearing for the first time, I hope that you capitalize on trying to act on this as soon as possible, right? While you can, and learn by doing it, right? Optimize your profile in the ways I just shared. Start, you know, cleaning your network, growing your network with the right target audience, right target decision makers, and really think about, you know, looking at LinkedIn as your own stage that you could create your own content and thought leadership that converts people to want to engage with you further to bring you for live events or other virtual stages in the form of podcasts, press and media interviews, you know, other workshops and courses and conferences and webinars as well. So you want to be able to look at LinkedIn as a place to really say, here I am, here's what I do, and here's how I can serve your audience with my signature message and my signature talk that I believe will actually present a really valuable insight or information or impact or experience that will make sure that your audience can move from where they came in to where they need to go. Okay. So with that said, that's all I have for now. How to turn your LinkedIn into a stage to grow your brand and get paid to speak. Very simple, bite-sized information for you to be able to walk away from here. But the point is that don't wait for opportunities. You got to start creating your own space, create your own opportunity, open your own doors. And after some time, people will start to see you and hear you and want to engage with you because your consistency and your commitment to that thought leadership is going to speak more volumes than you pitching and grinding it out with spammy DMs. Make yourself a thought leader by showcasing that thought leadership with integrity on LinkedIn. It speaks volumes a lot more than you could think. So with that said, all the best to my entrepreneurs who are live on this call. Thank you so much for joining. Comments, notes, if you want access to the show notes from today's session. I always leverage Word documents to put my notes there. So if you wanted comment notes to get access to those notes. And of course, if you want to get into a deep dive where I have a 2-hour workshop where I go over how to actually audit your LinkedIn profile, how to actually optimize your LinkedIn profile, and how to leverage your LinkedIn profile to get more visibility, more in depth. If this 20 minutes wasn't enough, you want a full-blown 2 hours, comment LinkedIn and my team will engage with you and DM you with access to the workshop. So that way you could be able to execute and implement some of the strategies that we shared today in more in depth. So with that, Christine and Tim here. So happy to see all of you and see you at the next live event. Bye-bye.